It started on a Tuesday, a day I used to think was just another boring spot in the middle of the week. Now, I see it as the day my old life burned down, and my new one rose from the ashes. I came home early, excited to surprise Sarah, my girlfriend of 5 years. I had a ring in my pocket, reservations at her favorite restaurant, and a whole speech planned out. But the surprise was on me. I found her with someone else, in our bed, in the apartment I paid for. The cliché hit me like a truck. When I confronted her, there were no tears, no apologies, just a cold, hard stare. She told me I was weak. She said I was predictable, boring, and that she needed a real man, someone with ambition, someone with drive. She said I'd never amount to anything more than a mid-level drone in a faceless company. Her words hurt more than the cheating itself. They were designed to shatter me, to leave me feeling worthless. And for a while, they did. The first few weeks were a blur of anger and self-pity. I barely ate. I barely slept. I was just a ghost, haunting the ruins of my life. Her voice, calling me weak, echoed in my head relentlessly. But then, one morning, something shifted. I looked at myself in the mirror, gaunt, miserable, a complete wreck, and I realized she was right about one thing. I had become complacent. I had lost the fire I once had. Her betrayal was the gasoline, but the spark that had to come from me. So I decided to stop mourning the life I lost and start building a new one. I took all that pain, all that anger, all that humiliation, and I channeled it. It became my fuel. I quit my comfortable but dead-end job the next day. It was terrifying. I had no safety net, no real plan. All I had was a burning desire to prove her wrong. Not just to her, but to myself. I had always been passionate about coding, a hobby I'd let slide while I was with Sarah. She thought it was nerdy, a waste of time. I remembered an app idea I had a few years back, a simple productivity tool to help freelancers manage their projects and invoices. I had dismissed it as a daydream. Now, it was my lifeline. I locked myself in my tiny new apartment, the one I could barely afford, and I started coding. I worked 18-hour days. My diet consisted of coffee and instant noodles. My world shrank to the glowing screen of my laptop. Every time I felt like giving up, I would hear a voice in my head, calling me weak, and I would push harder. I poured every ounce of my being into this project. It wasn't just about an app anymore. It was about reclaiming myself. It was about forging a new identity from the wreckage of the old one. After 6 months of relentless work, I had a working prototype. I used the last of my savings to launch a small beta test. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive. People loved the clean interface, the intuitive design. It solved a real problem for them. That small victory was the first real ray of light I'd seen in a long time. It was proof that I could create something of value, that I wasn't the failure she had painted me to be. With the positive feedback, I started reaching out to investors. I got 100 no's. Doors were slammed in my face. Emails went unanswered. People told me the market was too saturated, that my idea wasn't unique enough. Her voice started to creep back in, whispering doubts. Was she right all along? But this time I had something to fight back with. Results. I had users who loved my product. I kept refining, kept pitching, kept believing. Finally, one investor saw the potential. It wasn't a huge amount, just enough to hire a small team and officially launch. That's when things really took off. We launched the app, and it spread like wildfire through the freelance community. Word of mouth was our best marketing tool. Within a year, we had over 100,000 users. Within 2 years, we hit 1 million. My little side project, my act of defiance, was becoming an empire. Life changed fast. I went from instant noodles to business class flights, from a cramped apartment to a penthouse overlooking the city. I was on the cover of tech magazines. The weak man was now a CEO, a so-called visionary. But honestly, the money and the fame weren't the real prize. The real prize was the feeling of accomplishment, of building something from nothing, of proving to myself that I was capable of so much more. Then came the moment I had subconsciously been working towards 4 years. My company was hosting a major tech conference, and who was on the attendee list? working as a junior marketing assistant for one of the sponsoring companies. Sarah. I didn't orchestrate it. It was just fate, I guess. I saw her across the crowded hall. She looked different, older, a little tired. She was staring at me, her mouth slightly open in disbelief. Later, she approached me near the main stage, where I was about to give the keynote address. She tried to act casual, congratulating me on my success. She said she always knew I had it in me. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I just looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't feel anger or pain. I felt nothing. She was just a stranger, a ghost from a past life. You called me weak, I said, my voice calm and even. You told me I'd never amount to anything. In a way, I should thank you. You gave me the motivation I never knew I needed. I didn't say it to be cruel. I said it because it was the truth. Her betrayal was the catalyst for my transformation. I saw a flicker of something in her eyes. Regret, maybe, or just the shock of seeing the predictable, boring man she threw away become someone she couldn't even get a meeting with. She started to say something about getting coffee, about catching up. He Juste smiled a genuine smile and said, I have to go. I have a speech to give. And I walked away. I walked onto that stage, looked out at the thousands of faces, and I felt a sense of peace. The revenge wasn't about crushing her ego. It was about building my own life, my own empire on my own terms. The best revenge isn't loud and destructive. It's quiet, it's personal, and it is living a life so full and successful that the past no longer has any power over you. She didn't break me. She freed me, and for that, I am truly grateful. So, if you're going through something similar, if someone has tried to tear you down and make you feel small, remember these. Use that pain, let it be your fuel. Don't do it for them. Do it for you. Build your own empire, whatever that may be. The ultimate victory is not in their defeat, but in your own triumph. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.